All right, so let's finish. I didn't even want to really hit on this, but everybody will want to know, Paolo or Chet. And again, I know it's early in the season, but I also know that sometimes you can tell early in the season who's number one when you see these guys enough. And these guys are so different. That's the incredible part of this. And I think it's one or the other. To me, Jabari Smith is terrific at Auburn, and I think he's probably number 3 for me. But these guys are 1 and 2. Robbie, I'll start with you. Who you taking? Gun to your head today. Who you taking?
I think I'd go Holmgren still. I just think his upside is insane. I mean, this dude looks like he bench presses like 70 pounds, and he's so productive, you know? So I'd go with that because I think he's just going to get so much better over the next 3 or 4 years.
You know, Robbie, that's one way of looking at it. And then, you know, it all depends on how you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder so many times with this. Like Chet, you could flip it on you and say, yep, you're right. But that's part of what makes Paolo so good. Imagine when Chet Holmgren grows into his body and is 20 pounds heavier. He has a 7'6" wingspan. He already can shoot the 3. You know, he's proven that he's a shot blocker. Like, do you also look at it the other way through, you know, what they don't have? Because in Paolo's case, no doubt he has a ready-made body. But, you know, I think the one thing, let's give both guys credit. I don't think it's a sure thing either way. It's a tough decision. You know, I'm sure that
not a wrong answer, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe it'll play itself out more over the next 4 or 5 months. But both guys are like generational type of players for sure.
They're both really good. But I watched Auburn actually quite a bit in that tournament, and I'll tell you, I think Jabari Smith in like 3 or 4 years, I think he's an NBA All-Star. I mean, that dude. You talk about freakish talent and skill. He's got just as much as those two. But I think, you know, if you look at those guys, you know, who's having success, who plays like them early, you know, I think Paolo kind of looks like a Julius Randle type of a guy early in his career. Chet, you know, I think a lot of people, Sean, you would probably be able to compare him, but Mobley, who just left USC a year ago, a lot of people are kind of saying those two guys are on the same kind of path. I'm not sure the eye test, you know, what I think Evan Mobley probably has a wider frame than Chet. You know, Chet's pretty narrow, but
maybe not, Arch. I mean, I think Chet's kind of like Evan Mobley, but can shoot. You know, one thing that I was looking at Jabari Smith earlier, you know, right now he's shooting 43% from 3.
He's serious.
He's almost 50% from the field, and he's 84% from the line. And, you know, we're just crossing Thanksgiving. You know, usually those numbers take a little bit to settle for, no matter how talented you are, especially as a freshman. And keep this in mind, to Paolo, Chet, and Jabari's credit, imagine those guys' senior year of high school. You know, like, what did they do? What did they not do? There's no people. I mean, you think about where they're at. I think that's why when you talk about generational talent, especially the first 2 guys, it's not going to be an easy decision. And I think you bringing up Jabari Smith is right, Jeff. His shooting at that size, to be that efficient, that young in his career, usually those numbers hold true.
The only thing I worry about with Chet is his frame. You know, that's it. Other than
there's got to be, I don't care what anybody says, there has to be an adjustment for him from a size perspective and strength when you hit the NBA. Robbie, I mean, you've run around out there with those guys. It's just, now I will also tell you this, that Kevin Durant's a skinny guy too. He doesn't have any problems.
He's very functionally strong though. I mean, when he was at Texas, he was probably not like that, but
Robbie did have a game where he says he held KD down.
I've never said that. I've literally never said that in my life. I was praying that he didn't murder me. We played a 1-on-1 for 3 minutes at the Target Center in front of a freaking capacity crowd.
But it's kind of like Chet has that same body. Like, it's just like, it doesn't make sense, but he's just so skilled. And I don't know, is Chet Porzingis?
He's tougher. He's way tougher, and he's a better shot blocker. Like I don't think he's as good a shooter yet, but I think he's got more shit to him. That's the one thing with Chet. You see it already. Like even tonight, he's fighting, he's battling. I never really saw that out of Porzingis. Now, again, we also didn't see Porzingis when he should have been a freshman in college as much. I mean, he was good with the Knicks, but I don't know. I mean, it's a tough one for me. It is. It's a tough. I don't know. Again, Rob made his pick with Chet, Arch, and Sean. Neither one of you. Is it that difficult, or would you go with one guy?
I mean, I guess my point would be it's, what do you need as a franchise? You're probably going to draft, what you need a little bit, but you're probably not going to go wrong with drafting any of them. But I'll stick to this. I think that Paolo physically will be more ready to play in the NBA from day one. I think the best of the three is going to be Jabari Smith from Auburn.
Wow. That's strong. And again,
well, I mean, I give all three guys credit. They went to great programs and they're all being coached hard, and like they're not getting baby.
Sure.
There's none of that stuff going on with any of the three.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know about that last deal on Jabari Smith. I would tell you this, that I'll pass, and I'll say that I'm undecided between Chet and Paolo. I mean that in a positive way for both. I think it'll play itself out more in the next 3 or 4 months than it is right at this moment.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, again, we love to make these knee-jerk decisions after a huge game like this. And if you do that, you're probably going with Paolo because of his first half. He was that electric and made threes. And, again, I've compared him to Chris Webber. I feel like he's got a similar game to Chris Webber when he first came in, but he's even bigger and stronger. All